go. Well, first off, congrats.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats. So let's look at this. You called it Cat Tribal. We've been calling it Death by Cats.
All right.
So, yeah. Explain the list, man. Let's talk
So
about it.
it basically arrived
Hold on.
from
There we go.
me around the release of like Crimson Moon's Fairy Tale, testing kind of the Abdul deck that was popular in Japan at the time against Ushua, the red ruler from the starter decks, which is completely unfair as a matchup.
Yes, it is.
But it led me to go from just the 4 Elvish Priests as my 1-drops to as high as the 14 1-drops I have here.
Yeah.
So I guess the crux of the build is dependent on the cheap interaction and like the hand fixing that the cats give you. I also have come to realize that feasting is probably more powerful than Cheshire Cat.
Yeah. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, because it has power, so
Yeah.
you have to answer it. And
The 700 makes it. It basically says I'm eating the flames, and so it's it's really really good. So you played 4 cats. You played 4 Holy Winds, 3 Grettles, 4 Feastings, of course, 2 Carmelas, 2 Mephistopheles, 4 Thunders, 2 Bind of Gravities. We'll talk about 3 Cake Zones, 3 Zeeks, 3 Flames, 3 Stories, 2 Exceeds, and 1 Necronomicon. So, tell me a little bit of what you played for the most part, or what you played against.
It was almost exclusively more mid-rangey decks. The Abdul decks were actually what gave me the most problems all day. I didn't win a match against Abdul until the finals.
Okay.
But I faced some of the varied other mid-range like rulers.
Yeah.
I faced a couple Scheherazade mirror matches. I found myself against Grimia, which, even though I misplayed up a Storm, it was just unwinnable for him, just because of the power of Scheherazade and just how Flames and Thunder match up against the Grimia deck.
Oh, awesome. You came in you're the 8th seed. Yeah, so you played. How was playing on the draw the entire top 8?
It wasn't bad. I went 6 of my 8 rounds losing the die roll. Honestly, I guess I just don't even give conscious thought to it. I just play. I kind of get a feel for the tempo of the game, and I work to address what my opponent is bringing up.
Awesome.
And the 1 card advantage is really nice when you have so many low mana spells.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can just vomit out your hand and then play Scheherazade.
Awesome. So Bind of Gravity. How many times did you get to go nuts with it?
Well, actually 0 times. There was one time where I could have used it to swing for 45 with Mephistopheles, but it was screaming out to me in my sideboard. But the card isn't spectacular, but the fact that it just does a serviceable job against almost anything that you'll want to use removal on is why I feel the need for it. I might consider playing more, but at the same time, I really like it at 2. I play cantrips, and it's a very low deck size, so if I need it, I'll see it.
It was really nice. Was the strategy basically to always immediately search for the Deepwood, so you can have access to the cats?
It was depending on my opening hand.
Okay.
So you saw during my games I would open with various different stones, depending on what I had. But my mulligan strategy was almost always to mulligan away anything over 1 mana, unless it was Gretel.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And then obviously that's adjusted according to the matchup. There's matchups for Flames is important. There's matchups
everything
where you
completely
need
changes.
Yeah.
So, in your sideboard, you ran 3 Rapid Decays, 1 Cake Zone, 4 Vampire Staffs. Well, I was very excited to see Vampire Staff being ran. 2 Exceeds, 1 Flame, 3 Bloody Moons, and another 1001 Stories. So, I mean, some of these are kind of self-explanatory. 4 Vampire Staff. we haven't seen this in a while, and it's been since I think it was before NPR that it actually has seen play. So, well, you brought it back. What's up with it?
For the most part, it's just better than a Mephistopheles or another kind of dead, slow card against the burn matchup. And then for the mid-range matchups, I like to bring it in as kind of a mini Mephistopheles to challenge them to have an answer.
Okay.
So where you see the Abdul deck, really its bread and butter is get to 6 mana, cast my Mephistopheles, and have my cake up.
Yeah.
I can do that at 4 mana with Vampire Staff. It kind of looks derpy, but if I can protect it for just a turn, the life point swing is so huge in a deck that just wants to survive to the late game and become unbeatable.
It is true.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Did you ever? Okay, so for Blood Moon, just another Abdul.
Yeah, kind of a last minute throw in that I heard about from a friend, and I thought, in theory, this is great against the things that give me problems in duel, namely the Fizzling Stone and the Gruce Ballista Stone. Both huge, just annoyances. Gruce Ballista killing off Gretel and cats, who are oftentimes
they get really annoying.
Those are oftentimes my bread and butter. And Feasting, this deck would not have won anything against Green Black if I didn't have Flames of Outer World.
Yes, the card's too good.
Yeah, because Feasting just will cut you down.
Yep.
I started out siding in 3 in the control matchups, and I realized eventually that it was kind of awful. So I sided in 0 in my final game.
Awesome. That's good. Now, one thing I see that's not missing that a lot of people choose to do is they like to tech sideboard rulers. You opted not to tech any sideboard rulers. Was that just you didn't want to go into the Abdul portion, or you were just comfortable with Liberator, the mana fixing, and everything else? Because it looks like you kind of need it, and it's, I don't know. For me as a control player, basically having the perfect mana for turn 1 on, for basically kind of a deck like this seems a lot more powerful than maybe siding board into an Abdul. So it's
well, I think what you see in the sideboard represents my commitment to my belief that there's no ruler even close in power level to Liberator.
Okay.
Just the toolboxing ability and the assured late game dominance. I just don't feel like anyone can beat that.
I mean, it was even watching your matchup versus Ken when you're playing the mirrors. Like, it was just like he's just gonna play to J-activate, get Necronomicon, and just completely bury the game.
Absolutely. And you saw he was so far ahead on board. Even I was surprised that I was able to bring that one back. But just when you can cast all those 1-drop blockers from your grave with Necronomicon, it doesn't matter how clogged up the board state gets, because you can go 4 blockers, have 1 removal spell, keep up a counter spell, turn after turn after turn, and grind them down.
You're getting beer? Okay, we get beer. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, the deck looked really, really nice. I mean, it's probably my new favorite version of Liberator.
Oh, that is
it's
a
pretty
huge
nice.
compliment. Thank you very much.
It's really good because it's one of those, like, because the main reason is a lot of players, I've sat there and watched many games before so well, they just, to them, there's only one mode of Zeke's, and it's literally counter target summon spell. That's the only thing that they play. Either that or it's, I'll shuffle your graveyard away after you try to resolve a Necronomicon. And so seeing somebody actually use the other mode and saying, you know what, I'm just going to get lethal. I'm just going to kill you.
I have done, let's see, I had 2 Gretels and a Familiar, and my opponent was at 23. And I had 6 stones, and I killed them that turn.
Yeah.
Because I went double Zeke's Thunder,
That's
hit for exact.
That's how you do it.
I also did that in my top 8 match. He was at 3,000, and I had Carmilla plus triple Cat plus Gretel. And I think I had double Zeke's to get their exact. Maybe it was Feasting. I don't remember how the math lined up, but it was just... it was nice that I kept getting people for exact with Zeke's throughout the day.
Yeah, it's really, really, really nice. Other than that, I mean, it's a very, very, very solid list. Is there anything that you possibly change?
I would actually take some time to work on the sideboard. The sideboard all-stars here are 3 Rapid Decay and 2 Exceed for the respective matchups. The Flame comes in pretty often, but I don't think it's that great. There were a lot of times when I wasn't too happy about it.
Okay.
I mean, this list is tuned, but I have to say I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I think it was very, very, very situated for this tournament. I think it was really nice.
I might try 2 Blazer over Mephistopheles.
I can see it.
Just for more fast damage to kind of work with the deck's kind of aggro out of nowhere theme and to work through removal. And I also think it's better against Abdul, which is why the card is in there, is to kill Abdul's. But the card is also in there to kill opposing Mephistopheles, which Blazer can't do.
Yeah, true. That is very true. Other than that, okay, so we have you qualified.
Oh, yeah.
Japan. You got your passport?
We'll work on it. I mean, this doesn't even feel real yet. I have to go. I have to go get last night's sleep. Is the first thing on my to-do list.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So, yeah, they're basically giving me the "you need to get the hell out of here" signal. So, but yeah, I think everybody in Twitch is basically giving you big congratulations.
That is fantastic. Warms my heart.
We'll be doing. We'll be getting Chris Michaelis will be getting in contact with you.
All right.
And he'll be doing your interview and all that stuff like that. He'll be interviewing the top 3. I'll be getting with you here fairly soon to book your ticket and everything else.
Fantastic.
There's a couple different packages you can choose of like when you want to go. When you want to go in, it's pretty much set in stone. But you can go in earlier. You can go in. You can stay after. So I mean, because Japan is a beautiful place.
Oh yeah.
And so as I think some of us are staying till the 30th. Ooh. So yeah, we're gonna spend the entire week there. We'll go to the company and send in a bunch of boring meetings.
Actually, my friend right here, he wandered off somewhere, but he's going to be in Japan at the same time.
Oh, sweet.
For an internship, so I don't know. I might just
that's pretty good.
Never move back. Be forceful Japan's new champion.
That's not the first time I've heard of people not moving back from Japan. So, especially when they're in the military. But again, it's 11:45, so they're closing the doors at 12. But congratulations, man!
It
was nice watching you play, and
I
look forward to us going to Japan and taking down a world title.
Oh yeah, I'm just excited to play more Force of Will.
Oh, I know, right? Are you gonna try to go to Rhode Island or? Any of those? No.
Was not in my plan at all. I mean, I kind of showed up here as like the locals bully, and I realized, oh hey, I can beat all these decks. Why not?
Yep, that's good. Well, I look forward, man. I'm actually going to build that deck tonight and probably play it when I get home. So.
It's an honor.
I appreciate it. I'm Robert Hebert. This is Brandon Noland.
That's me.
Champion of World Grand Prix Chicago. You want to go ahead and sign us out?
Play more cats, ladies and gentlemen.
Play more cats, guys. You heard it here.